Hi guys. I didn't plan to go live, so I didn't make a little schedule. But anyway, if anyone is on tonight, I wanted to talk a little bit about my last video, and I have Jesus here with me, so he told me to come on and just be here if you guys have any questions about like the material that I've been talking about, the messages I've been receiving. One thing I wanted to really make clear is in my last video, at the end, I saw my spiritual team gathered together, and I thought they were gathered around fire, but Jesus corrected me. They were actually in the Pleiades, and it's very cold there. So what I was seeing was like a cool fog, and I wore this this blue sweatshirt because the color of Pleiadians, like the aura of Pleiadians, is indigo. And so Jesus brought me to that. He corrected me after I ended my last video and showed me the color of the Pleiades. It's like an indigo, and it's cool, and there's like a cool fog that you would see, you know, like when you have dry ice. So anyway, I just wanted to make that correction, and I don't really see anyone on tonight. It's Sunday night, so maybe I should have made a schedule. I need to be more organized. Make a little schedule if I'm gonna come on live. I actually was going to come on live last night, but I was really tired. So anyway, what else does Jesus want to talk about? He wants to talk about this idea of turning the other cheek and what he meant by that when he was here. That's been really misconstrued. Many people think that that means like never having a fight or an argument or being like disagreeable. And let me see if I can look at the chat and see if anyone's here. Okay. Oh, hello, Lubu. That's a really cute emoticon. I don't think I've seen that one. So turn the other cheek. Geez. Oh, please, guys, if you have any questions, let me hold this up. If you have any questions, ask me. That's what Jesus asked me to do, just to answer questions out of the blue. And so if you can think of any questions, ask me. So let me get back to turn the other cheek. Or if you missed it, I was just talking about the Pleiades. So especially ask me questions about galactic influences. So, but let me talk about turning the other cheek. So what Jesus meant by that is many times in your life, either loved ones or just someone you're with, working with, they'll be upset. Hi, Alyssa. uh, I love that emoji. It's like, I don't know, it's cute with the little cheeks. So you'll be talking to someone and they'll be upset. And the natural reaction will be for you to get upset. And Jesus just wants you to consider this idea of kind of just letting one, especially in your personal life, just letting one person be upset at a time, if that makes sense. Because it's really hard to accomplish anything with two people being upset at the same time. So he was just suggesting that people sort of balance each other out. And it's not about ignoring the subject matter or making the other person right. It's just about like sort of hearing them out, letting the energy dissipate, letting them have their angry moment, and then, addressing it later if it's really that important. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but that's what he meant by turning the other cheek. He certainly didn't mean like just rolling over. And that upsets him because many of you know in his famous lifetime where he was a disciple and they were all, not all, but a lot of them were crucified. So people put that together and they think that in order to be spiritual, you should be passive, and that's not true. So Jesus really wanted to talk about that. And do you guys have any questions about like what I've been talking about recently, like predictions, 2022, anything galactic, reptilians? Any questions? Let me see here. This is my second time going live, so I'm still working with this. Crickets. What else would you like to talk about, Jesus? They don't have any questions. Okay. Does anybody watching feel like you might know what type of starseed you are? Like, would you be an Arcturian, reptilian, Pleiadian, or a tall white? Let me just see if Jesus wants to talk about anything else. He said some of you may be concerned who watched my predictions for 2022 and may be wondering why I didn't bring up what's going on with Russia and the Ukraine. What Jesus has told me about that is they give each group, like each medium, like different, not always different, but they know that each one of us can't contain like all of the information. So they gave me certain messages, they gave other mediums certain messages. Also, I just was not in a space to hear about that. My own intuition, and this is something you guys can, this might help you, is in addition to being a medium, I have my own intuition that hears like certain keywords and certain patterns, and can also understand from that what might happen. But guys, I was blocking that out. I thought that something like that was going to happen because people kept saying it. People kept saying over and over, like, oh, you know, there's so much crime right now. You know what these young kids need? They need a war. Like they need to go into the military. And I would hear that over and over, like, oh, we don't, you know, we're soft, and we're being soft on crime. And you know what we need? You know what these young men need? They need a war. That if they want to be criminals. And I kept hearing that, and I was like, no, stop saying that, stop saying that. So I didn't ask about that because they had given me so many messages. I was already overloaded. But Jesus says that that's one of the reasons why I didn't include that in my prediction. Another, like I said, with everything that's gone on, I really didn't want to see that. And also, Jesus told me that was a very spontaneous decision that Putin made, should I say, Mr. P made. It was very, very spontaneous. So, anyone have any questions? I didn't really want to just lecture. I appreciate, all of my subscribers, and if you guys, oh, let me see here. I just missed something. All right, let me go back. Ah, here we are. Oh, hi, Sandra. Hi, Tatiana. Oh, Jakarta. I've never been to Jakarta. Jakarta. Is that, I know that's in the east. Is that Thailand? Let me see. Okay. Are there physical attributes of starseeds? Yes, totally. So I'm heavy Pleiadian. So Pleiadians on the other side they have an indigo aura. And actually, I can't really see auras, but I've been told I have an indigo aura. What you can tell with Pleiadians, it's in the eyes. Oftentimes, our eyes they look kind of watery. And okay, this is going to sound kind of offensive, okay, guys? But a lot of Pleiadians on Earth, because of our sensitivities, our eyes, like, all right, I'm just going to say it. Sometimes people think we're dumb because our eyes are big, and all of our emotions show in our eyes. So I'll be like, really? And people will assume that I'm dumb. Sometimes Pleiadians can even, when they're eating and things, kind of look, how do I say this? Mentally challenged. Because that brings me to reptilians. 50% of the population are reptilians, guys. So, and that is a sliding scale. So someone can be reptilian and not be negative. Many people always talk about dark reptilians. So I'm just going to go through. Jakarta is in Indonesia. Okay, I was close, right? So, okay, back to reptilians. So the average reptilian is a little, I'm going to try to put it the best way, like not vulnerable. So that would be invulnerable. So oftentimes in like a reptilian, this is where you're getting people, they're sometimes the eyes are, think of invulnerability, like oftentimes they try to capture that look in like modeling, and people try to go for that look, like being fierce, like you know, in some things in TV, like advertising, it's an energy that goes out. It's like and that doesn't really describe it. That's more of a starseed. It's like a invulnerability. So at the most, it is like tough, not necessarily fierce. It's more like a toughness, like, you know, you're not going to get to me. And I know that sounds harsh, but guys, we need people like that. Not not everyone. Oh, as soon as I put words to it, guys, it sounds, it's so hard to categorize people. But anyway, another look in a reptilian's eyes is blank. And guys, I know that sounds terrible, but it doesn't mean that that person is a bad person. It just means that, you know, they're not always like processing emotions, and sometimes they're, you know, that is just a way of being. And so Arcturians, their aura tends to be like orange, and the think of they're very creative, very good at dancing and singing, and sensitive. A lot of Latin people are Arcturian. A lot of people from like South America and Central America, and the southern like Asian groups. And this is not across the board. There's a lot of mixtures. Jesus said it's just very, very hard to explain, and that's why, you know, you don't see a lot of explanations, because it's not 100%. But most of our singers and the actors who would like win Oscars, and you know, the ones who move your soul, the musicians who move your soul, they are Arcturian. When they come to me from the other side, they're kind of like rainbow or orange, very bright. If you want to think of a manifestation of an Arcturian, think of Robin Williams when when well, Archangel Metatron represents like Robin Williams. Think of him, and think of him when he was playing Aladdin. That's the perfect personification of an Arcturian, is Aladdin in Disney. And that's how Archangel Metatron comes to me. And then a tall white. Yes, Robin. Robin is the personification of an Arcturian. And that's why, guys, when you saw him perform, it was just amazing because he's literally the embodiment of an Arcturian and Archangel Metatron. That's why he was so powerful. And then tall whites they come through looking like like Scandinavians. Let me look in the comments, make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, what does Jesus think of what's going on in the world today? Okay, let me finish with, so the tall whites, the perfect personification of a tall white is Avicii, okay? So he's the personification, but like coming through from the other side. Now, sometimes when they come through from the other side, people will look like the spirit from the other side, but really, guys, it's more of an energy. So I've been doing a lot of channelings with tall whites, so I can just name some right now, like John F. Kennedy, Marilyn Monroe, Jackie Onassis. So these are your people who are very calm usually, intellectuals, logical, but they also have passion and emotion. Not emotion like Pleiadians. It's more like there is, I shouldn't use the word emotion. There is a caring in their actions. So this would be like you're very caring, but intellectual and calm, like doctors, oftentimes lawyers. But these are the people that like you would naturally trust. They're very trustworthy. They have a mission, but let's see, how many archangels are there in heaven? I don't know the number offhand. Because there are some lesser ones. The ones that that are part of my group that I deal with often are, so it's Archangel Michael, Metatron, Archangel Eric Medhus, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Sandalphon. Oh, let me explain too. So Archangel Michael represents the tall whites and the Navy, the U.S. Navy. Archangel Metatron represents the Arcturians. Archangel Eric Medhus is, he helps me communicate with celebrities and oftentimes, and the people that I'm coming to like represent, the people who really oftentimes have been taken out. So anyway, he's really a liaison between me and them. And then we have Archangel Gabriel, who he's a mixture of all three, and also very close to me. And you want to party with all the angels? I'm sure you can. You can actually start, you guys, if you're watching me, you're drawn to me. Most likely you can really connect. Yeah, they're saying you all can connect with them. Just, yeah, just pray to them, guys, and listen to what they say. And you know, we all have different ways of hearing, seeing them. But one thing is to look for patterns, and listen. Like I've been listening to those patterns. So when you start to hear things over and over, we're basically, as people, once people put those things, they keep saying those things over and over, like, you know what these kids need? These kids need a war. They're bored. Like, I was like, no, please stop saying that. Or people would say, like, you know, like we need a plague or something like that, or because people weren't following good hygiene. You know, I think you guys get that. Yeah. like, no, don't say that. Don't say that. Or, you know, like, what I was hearing a lot before the pandemic, I kept hearing over and over, is that, you know what's wrong with people today? Like, they don't know how to go without. They don't know how to live simply. People don't know how to, like, we have too many choices, and make it stop, and there's too much going on. And then I was like, oh, it's almost like people want, you know, basically people wanted less. I don't know if you guys remember, like, hearing complaints like that, like, you know what, everyone's spoiled. We can have anything we want 24/7. And you know, my kids, they don't know what it was like to go without and not to have choices. Like, we, you know, in the 70s we had two toothpastes. And then, you know, I feel like it was manifested, and Jesus is saying, yeah, I mean, there is a system of checks and balances. And when you put things out, when you put things out, you say things out into, you know, the ether. Their earth is, you know, the energies, like the four energies I talked about, have an influence on humanity. And you know, if we walked around all the time saying, like we need something harsh, something negative, we're basically giving license to a dark energy to bring that. It's kind of like that exercise where they have two plants and one plant is spoken to nicely and the other plant is given harsh words. Oh, so Jesus wants me to talk about also, there's the energy of Mother Mary and Father Joseph. I want to talk about them another time. They are their own sort of like archangel group. And Mother Mary is she's Mother Mary. She was Mother Teresa and Mother Earth. So she embodies that energy, and she has been here on earth as Mother Teresa and as Mother Mary. And she's had more lifetimes too. And interestingly enough, guys, I haven't talked about this. Well, I want to look at the comments. Yeah, that is a cool question, Alyssa. The question about what the different galactic influences look at. Before I continue on, did I describe that well? Do you have any other questions about that? I want to party with all the angels. How many are? Oh, I've already sort of answered that. Okay, so Father Joseph was, Jesus's father when he was here. Guys, there is such a thing as Father Time. So Father Joseph is Father Time. You can pray to him about things you would pray to, have a father help you with. But guys, you can pray to Father Time to if you're running late. I swear, guys, this is so fascinating. Jesus told me this, and I didn't really believe it, but you can ask Father Time to give you more time. And I don't know, just try it. It's actually worked for me. Okay, any more questions, you guys? Sandra, are those doves? Those are... I can't really tell. Oh, I did describe it well. Okay, you're welcome. Do you guys have any more questions about Galactics? I'm trying to think. It's such a touchy subject. But since I've learned about it, it's interesting when I look at people now. I feel like I can tell. And it's really helped me understand about my life, because I've realized that I spent most of my life trying to look and be like reptilians. I've tried to make my eyes not look so emotional or intense. I've tried to make my eyes look sort of flatter. And I've tried to not have such strong expression or use my hands when I talk or care so much about things. But let me answer your questions. Yes, doves of peace. Thank you, Sandra. Peace be with you too. Okay, let me see here. What was Jesus's childhood like? Well, Jesus's parents are galactic, Mother Mary and Father Joseph. So his childhood, guys, was very loving, very intelligent, very galactic. Mother Mary, Father Joseph, and Jesus are all mediums. So they were living in a bubble, and they had come here as Galactics to help the Jewish people, just live a better life, just have more peace, have more happiness, have less disease and things like that. So they were downloaded messages from God, and they tried to just tell people those messages, and people loved it, and people got on board, and people followed their advice and were happier and healthier. And so he had a great childhood, and he had a great group of friends, the disciples, and he hung out with his brothers, and uh, he hung out with Saint Peter, who was a fisherman, and they had a great time, guys. They partied all the time, and they were really happy. It's just that, you know, they were challenging the status quo at the time, and also getting a lot of attention. So that's where the conflict came in. Let's see. When will things get better on Earth? Well, there's always going to be challenges here on Earth, and they're just of different kinds of challenges with each era. So it can seem like right now it seems like, well, Jesus is admitting right now is a really, really challenging time, guys. But as far as better, well, when I did my predictions, they said, you know, here in the States, things should start to get better. He was saying by the end of 2022. But there's a few, and I put it in my predictions, a few kind of wacky things that might happen. So, but he is saying this, what has happened now is really, it's challenging in a different way than in the past. I think I've said it in a recent video that what's happening right now is hard, in the fact that, like, we don't know sometimes who's the enemy, and how to deal with things that are happening. Like he's mentioned, like in World War II, it was pretty easy. People knew who the enemy was. Everyone banded together and fought that. He said right now it's just more confusing than ever. Like, we don't know what side to be on. But are we close to disclosure? Yes, I think I know what you mean. And I think that if you listen to other mediums, it's coming, guys. This and what it is the truth of what's going on with a lot of our leaders. I think, if that's what you mean by disclosure, or do you mean like disclosure of ETs, or I think that's coming too. But I don't know. Can you guys feel it? Like, I think that the pandemic was the impetus of the breaking down of the truths, and the truths of what's going on with the people in power, and the truth about having connections with the other side, and the truth about all of us being able to connect to the other side. Yeah. Yes, all of the above. Knight Rider. Yeah. Um, can you guys feel it? It's a little bit frightening, to tell you the truth. Like, it's exciting, but we're kind of going into a place where, like, I don't know, it feels, yes, the shift, it feels scary. Like for me personally, I just feel like I've always been like, a big part of my personality was kind of fighting the status quo. And now, like, I feel like I've been released from that. And it's kind of like unknown territory. So I'm just sort of trying to, do what they tell me. But the big reason why this is all happening was because the power was shifted. The power on earth was shifted to the wrong people. Like, I've mentioned this before, like people who are supposed to be like not a follower, a helper, a worker of the bigger ideas of what the Starseeds wanted to accomplish. There's like a knowing, a stillness in the air. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you guys feel it, but Jesus has said that many starseeds right now moved into somehow managed to move, or they feel like they somehow managed to move, but they were helping on the other side. They moved starseeds, empaths, whatever you all want to call yourselves, whatever level of awareness that you're at, into places of protection, if that makes sense. And, not, they joke around all the time. They're showing me popcorn that many, like, people who have struggled a lot are finding themselves kind of like on the sideline, just like eating popcorn, like being aware, kind of knowing things were coming, and previously being frightened, like how do I help? How do I warn people? What do I do? But Jesus has said that many have been put in a position of being sidelined and just kind of watching. They're showing me the popcorn, just kind of like watching from the sidelines, and just being like, I thought this was going to happen, but still, like, now what do we do? And also, yeah, an empath. It's like, there's this, the stillness that we're feeling, it's a combination of the calm before some storms, but it's like storms we knew were coming, but not everybody has known it was coming. So be prepared to have a lot of people suddenly be interested in all of this stuff, like be interested in like, what is an empath, and what are galactic beings, and starting to have different interests like that. So guys, if you want to be messengers, now is a good time to get into all of this kind of work. Like if you want to do tarot or okay, what are your thoughts on the Fae or the fairies? I know that a lot of Pleiadians, guys, settled in certain areas. Ireland is a big spot for Pleiadians. And, you know, they say like these expressions like, you know, the luck of the Irish and, you know, a lot of, you know, I'm Irish. A lot of Irish people have these sort of watery Pleiadian eyes. But back in the day when they didn't know how to explain it, they would call that person being of the Fae. Okay, I think it's great in all the conspiracies all coming to a reality, but it feels scary. It does feel scary, guys. And a lot of that is, it's spiritual. I hate to say this because it sounds even scarier, but it is like spiritual warfare. So know that what that means is the dark reptilian energy that especially hangs out in the fourth dimension. They are going to be targeting reptilians here and trying to get them to go darker. And also starseeds, who, especially starseeds, a lot of who have struggled, who are doing well. And one person I can think of is Will Smith. This is a great example. So Will Smith is Pleiadian. And you can see, guys, he just won the Oscars. And so he was targeted by dark energy because this is the spiritual warfare. So when, as a starseed, when you're succeeding and stuff, you're going to be targeted. You're going to be targeted through the dark energy and through the dark energy coming through other people. And I don't know if any of you have felt this, but it's like when you try to accomplish something and all these people just seem to constantly like be getting in your way or making you doubt yourself and making you feel like, you know, you were going to say, what was all that about with Will Smith? Yeah, that's exactly what it's about. So what happened at the Oscars, guys, is a perfect example of what's happening now. We have Chris Rock, who is a tall white, and we have Will Smith, who is a Pleiadian. Now, guys, these two men are friends. They've been not lifelong friends, but they've been like friends in the business for a long time. They enjoy each other's company. You could see Will Smith enjoyed that joke. Now, Jada Pinkett Smith, she is, guys, this is great. I'm so glad you asked me this because now I can give the most perfect example. And Jesus is like, this is a great example. It's gotten everyone talking in every community. So Jada is reptilian. Now you can see what like a reptilian, she's not, you know, there's different levels, but Jada is a typical celebrity type reptilian. Like you can see her acting is not as engaging as Will Smith, who's Pleiadian, but she can read her lines and she's fierce and she's unmovable. It's very, oh, thank you, Angela. We love you too. So guys, can you picture the three? Chris Rock is a tall white. Will Smith is Pleiadian, and Jada is reptilian. So you can see, like I said, Jada's acting, it's good. She's good at knowing her lines. She has an invulnerability. She can do anger. She can be fierce, and there is a need for that. But she probably doesn't fully understand Will Smith, and he doesn't fully understand her. But that's a typical Pleiadian reptilian relationship where you can see Will is constantly trying to understand her. Like, she's reptilian. He's like, I want to serve her. I want to make her happy. Will wants to make Jada feel like inspired and like he does. And he could never do that. Jada being reptilian, so it's just a way of being, like, she's just not going to have that elevated emotion that Will Smith has, and she's not going to have that elevated intelligence and sense of humor that Chris Rock has. So, what she has is this sort of it's just this stable invulnerability, and it's so hard to explain, guys, but you can see it, you can feel it. You know what it is, you've dealt with it, and I don't want to criticize reptilians, but it's very hard. You can see their relationship is a perfect example. I've been with reptilians. It's a perfect example of a reptilian Pleiadian relationship. Like, Jada just reacts like to protect herself. She's not thinking of how funny Chris Rock is, and that's his job, is to be witty and to make people laugh. And she's not thinking that if she gives her husband a look that she's going to ruin his evening. She's just self-protective, and the only way I can explain it is we need people in the world like that. But the reptilians make up 50% of the population. So unfortunately, many starseeds have given their power over to reptilians. And that's exactly what happened in that circumstance. Like, Chris Rock was the person responsible for running that show and making people laugh, and he had a huge responsibility. And then Will Smith is given an award for his incredible talent in acting, and Jada is there as his wife. But Chris Rock's, his job was to make fun of, like, to roast, especially the most important person there, who's going to win the Academy Award. That was his job. So that was a perfect example of what happens in real life. Like Jada, the focus being Jada, it doesn't make any sense, guys. So um, am I being clear? It would be like, going into Microsoft, and you have like Bill Gates, calling a meeting, and then you have like uh, the creatives, and then you have like the secretary, and it would be like everybody doing what the secretary wants. So Bill Gates would be like the tall white, and then the top creatives would be like the Pleiadians and the Arcturians, and then the secretary would be like the reptilians, and it would be like, Jesus is saying is like, it's like the world is catering to the secretary. That's like one of the best ways I can put it. I don't know. How does that sound to you guys? I have to, it's very hard to translate this, but does that make sense? And you can see it too. Jesus is saying it's like when people cater to children, you have the adults that have their life experience and know what the best course of action is, but they're giving their power to the children. Okay, you understand, Angelica? Yeah. It's taken me a while because, so if you just can analyze that relationship, Chris Rock is the tall white, Will Smith is the Pleiadian, and Jada is the reptilian. So we'll see that in organizations. We have it in our current administration in the United States, in our presidency. If you look at Russia, they have that there. And you can see the little guy, Mr. Zelensky, he is Arcturian. He is a really good actor, and Pleiadian. And you can see him, he's being bullied by the two big reptilians. It doesn't seem like we're bullying him, but we have in the past, and probably, I don't want to get into that, but, another example would be high school, where like the nerds would be mostly tall whites, the intellectuals, or tall white Pleiadian mixtures. The theater geeks would be like Arcturian Arcturian Pleiadian mixtures, maybe a little bit of tall white. And then you have like, the mean girls, which are like the reptilians. And, you can see in high school that a lot of the really talented people are worshiping like, the mean girls. So, or the mean boys. And that's supposed to end in high school, guys. Like, we're supposed to grow up, and we're supposed to appreciate our Elon Musk and our for lack of like Bill Gates. I know there's issues, people have issues with him, but like our Will Smith and our Chris Rock, like, you know, instead of, not instead of, but a little bit differently than Jada. Like, Jada has her place, and we need people like Jada in movies. But I think you guys are getting my point. Any more questions? Oh, you understand. Like how people come talk to the secret? What does that mean, Angelica? Angelica, the purple dolphin warrior. I love dolphins. Oh, secretary. Secretary. Yeah, you can see in our society, guys, how mired we get in all of our paperwork, how complicated things are. That's very reptilian. We can get so bogged down with reptilian red tape because you have to think reptilian people aren't as sensitive. That's meaning like they could eat spicier food, they can drink more alcohol generally, maybe have less allergies, do more paperwork because they're not emotionally affected by things. They're not as vulnerable. So these are your people who can work 8 hours a day and then, go and do a hobby and go to bed and wake up and do it all over again. The reason that they have more energy for things like that is because they're not being emotionally drained by all of this stuff. So then we have our tall whites who have come to earth with these ideas and these innovations, and they're curing diseases, and we have our Pleiadians who are downloaded, and our Arcturians who are downloaded like these incredible songs and plays, and everyone's not everyone, but people can't do what they're here to do because they've been told, like, oh, sorry, I'm getting so passionate, I'm moving the camera. Like many people are told, like, you need to go, work in an office, or, you have to constantly do all of this, this red tape, and people can spend their whole lives. Hi, Wisteria. So people can spend their whole lives doing like all these like reptilian things, like drudging through the day and then like doing these hobbies, and become like completely exhausted, and their talents are not being expressed because Spirit is singing to me. They're like, we are living in a reptilian world, and I am a Pleiadian. So, yeah, that's such a funny way of expressing it. But, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I think I mentioned earlier, guys, like I didn't know how much of my life I spent trying to like hang out with reptilians and be reptilian. I didn't realize it. I was surrounded by reptilians, and I just finally just gave up. Oh, you have that song in your head. We are living in a reptilian world, and I am a Pleiadian. And they're like, Pleiadian, Arcturian, tall white. It really is like Revenge of the Nerds. So what's going on now with this whole like spiritual movement is Jesus and the archangels and his team, the 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 Pleiadians, the tall whites, and the Arcturians, like they're on board now. They are helping their people because, well, if we don't honor ourselves and our talents and our goals, our opinions, what's going to happen is more and more reptilians will be in charge, and that might seem like, okay, well, no big deal, but we can see what's happening now with reptilians are in charge of the superpowers, and guys, it's pretty dangerous. Oh, let's see. Okay. Um, I'll let you go enjoy your reptilian world tomorrow. That was a funny comment. Let me go back there. It says have to go to work in a reptilian world. That's a good one. Good luck. It's very eye-opening, gives a different perspective. Yeah, it is different when you look at it that way. And you guys, you could see, I'm not excusing what Will Smith did, but you could see how much it emotionally affected him. And you could see Jada, she wasn't emotionally affected, guys. She just, like, it's like that. And it's hard to talk about without like really being down on Jada, but it's up to Will Smith to own his perspective and not kowtow to Jada. Like it's okay to let reptilians be upset. Like I'm sure it's not even like she was, it's just this kind of, how do you explain her emotion? It was just kind of side eye. It wasn't like, there's no way for the Pleiadian Will Smith to prevent his reptilian wife from having the eye rolls and the side eye, like it's just like that's who she is. He can't, him winning the Oscar was way more important, and everything involved in that, and the work he has done and his talent and all of that, it's way more important than his wife just kind of rolling her eyes. Yeah, sorry, I keep talking about the same stuff. Okay, and I heard recently that he was, okay. So guys, this is really long. I think I've made my points. I think that's enough for tonight. So I just kind of want to wrap it up, and I'm going to do videos about each galactic group, and I'm going to list people past and present who are of that, and hopefully you know, I can explain and help people more with this. Oh, yes. Yes, thank you to everyone who has shown up, and let's thank my spiritual team. Thank you guys for questions. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Eric Medhus, Archangel Gabriel, Mother Mary, Father Joseph, Archangel Sandalphon, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Azrael, Archangel Ezekiel, Archangel Jophiel, the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Tall Whites. And again, thank you guys for being here. And I can't believe how long I went on for. All right, I will come on soon. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.